everybody, and welcome back to episode 6 of the Witcher podcast. I'm your host, Danny Newton, joined as always by my co-host, Derek Rios. How are you today, Derek?
I'm okay, Danny.
Great. We got a pretty decent episode to talk about today. There's a lot going on in this episode.
This is my favorite episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good episode for me. I don't know if it's my favorite, but there's a lot of things in this episode I like. A lot.
There's Dargans.
There's Dargans.
I love Dargans.
There's Dargans. I'm not going to say dragons, because we didn't have the budget for dragons.
That dead dragon. That dead dragon looked pretty good over there, but
but that moving one looked kind of bad. But they're trying. And you know what?
Yeah.
I will give A+ for the effort. They tried.
I mean, when you got to pay Henry Cavill to get topless,
I mean,
that's a lot of the budget, and it's worth it.
This isn't Game of Thrones. Whoa. I'm sorry, we don't speak about that show here.
Yeah, that show doesn't exist.
That show doesn't exist. This isn't Reign of Fire.
You know, Reign of Fire did have good dragons. What's not Braveheart?
Dragonheart.
Dragonheart. I love that movie as a kid.
did love
we
that
should do that movie sometime. The CGIs don't look that good anymore.
It's got it where it counts.
Yeah.
Just like this episode. It made you feel dragons. It made you imagine dragons, if you will. But once you saw them, they were quite radioactive.
He said that gold dragons aren't supposed to exist. It had to be a mutation. So
yes.
Maybe it is some type of mutation, because he didn't really look like the green dragon.
No.
The green dragon looked more traditional. It was just didn't move.
The green dragon looked good because it wasn't moving. But anyways, we're jumping way ahead.
There's dragons?
There's dragons in this show?
Spoilers.
What? Spoiler alert.
But, you know, the main thing of this episode is it finally solves the theory of, do dwarves exist?
Yes.
We can finally confidently say dwarves exist.
Dwarves exist, and they are assholes.
Only one
They
talks.
are drunken Irish assholes.
Only one dwarf talks. And, you know, he didn't have pointy ears like the other ones do. But the other one, the black one,
yeah,
I think
the little
he
black
actually
guy.
has
Did he?
They're kind of pointed, almost.
Okay.
But not quite as pointed as the actual dwarves we see at the mines. So
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they're gnomes.
So,
when I looked it up, it said that those are dwarves in the mines. That's, again, another person's opinion. So
yeah. I mean, watching this, it made me think that, yeah, those were dwarves in the mines.
Yeah.
But watching this, it also made me think that maybe that wasn't a dwarf in the camp.
It was a
I have
half-elf.
no idea how many magical races exist in this.
Actually, most of the ones exist. Like,
most of the
normal
traditional
races,
fantasy
yeah.
ones. Are there orcs in this show eventually?
I don't think so. I think orc is the one that doesn't
So it doesn't
exist.
go straight Tolkien fantasy.
Yeah, it doesn't. Which
Okay.
orcs were elves, right? So I don't think that's why there's no orcs.
Okay.
Maybe he was a half. That's how you make a joke. Fucking Imagine Dragons. Get out of here. Well, do you want to start with Ciri?
Yeah. Let's start with
again,
Ciri. There's not
not
a
as
lot
big.
going on with Ciri in this episode, but there's some
Let's
really
see a trend.
there's good stuff going on with Ciri.
There is.
Ciri's story starts with her being led out of Brooklyn Forest by not Mousesack.
Yeah, fake Mousesack and Dara and Ciri are going through the woods, and they're pretty much just kind of chatting. And Dara's just.
I love how she roped Dara into this, by the way, just by saying, "You're mine," or something.
You're my family. She just want to go along. You know?
Yeah,
I'm really surprised Dara left.
I am.
I'm
too.
surprised that the Dryads let him leave.
Yeah,
because he'd been all juiced up and was just like, "I love life."
Yeah, he was on his way to becoming a tree. Yeah,
he's told to be a tree. So he's just questioning Mousesack pretty much. And just
he's asking all the questions that Ciri should be asking, and he literally tells her this, like, the queen told you that you need to ask the right questions. So he's kind of badgering Mousesack a little bit. Ciri acts like she's kind of scolding him for it, and then she starts asking questions.
Yeah, and she catches him with the arthritis thing, and I'm sure
you would think that he would absorb those memories as well if that's the way his thing works. Maybe it's possible he's absorbed so many people that it's got to be tough to keep it organized.
We got to think that it's probably been hours that they've just been questioning him and grading him. That at this point he just doesn't care anymore. It's just like, let's fucking get there.
A child can only ask why so many times before you want to scream and throw it across the room, right? Why? Because nothing can't not be. Yeah. But you must have been homesick and all this crap. And he was like, yeah, I was terribly homesick. Except you hated the place you come from.
You always said Centra was your home.
Yep.
And you have arthritis, so you hate the cold. Yep. And you're lying, and then they get in a fight.
And Dara lays some silver on this guy.
Yeah, and this just burns him.
Yes.
I guess that's the Doppler's biggest weakness is silver.
I didn't realize... I know that silver can damage monsters in this world, but... I didn't know that it was like almost a vampire thing where it's basically sitting there setting his flesh on fire.
I mean, honestly, he turns and you see his true form.
Yeah.
And he pretty much looks like a vampire.
Yeah, kind of.
It looks like a Dampier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like a Dampier.
Yeah, it looks like a Dampier on the way. They got him on the ropes. They got him beat down just by pressing the silver up against him. And Ciri's like, no, kill him. And Dara's like, doesn't want to kill him.
Yeah.
Even though I have no idea why he wouldn't want to just off him.
Because he's a good person.
I think it was because they needed more information or something. I thought he felt like they needed something else from him. I don't know.
Ciri's pretty much figured out he's not going to give us any information.
Yeah.
And
just kill him. And Dara's like, no, wait. And they kind of fight over the knife a little bit.
Dara gets knocked out.
Yeah.
And then Ciri runs, just leaves him. Which I was like, oh, God, this thing's just going to eat Dara.
Yeah.
And turn into him. But he doesn't, luckily.
Yeah, but we don't know.
We know. Because it shows them later.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it does. Ciri runs away. Then Ciri gets snatched by a random soldier and chloroformed.
Well, no. That's not Ciri, right? So that's what we think. Later on, in the end of the episode, it shows Ciri running. Yeah. And she gets caught by a soldier. And knocked out chloroform, pretty much.
See, yeah.
And she wakes up.
Convinced me.
Yeah, it did.
It's made you,
it makes you think that. Ciri wakes up with Cahir.
Yes.
And Cahir's pretty much like, I never intended to hurt you. I just want you to live out your destiny. And we're going to take you to meet the White Flame, which the White Flame is the king of Nilfgaard.
Yeah. Basically, Nilfgaard wants to use her power as their own personal weapon.
I'm really interested in later seasons when we're introduced to the King of Nilfgaard.
The entire time he's going on the spill, and then he's like, well, I brought food, and he turns around and starts preparing or whatever. The shapeshifter
turns out to be Ciri. Ciri is a Doppler.
Yeah,
and he turns back into Cahir.
This fight was very disorienting.
It was great.
It was great because
you watch it a couple times and you can figure out who's who the whole time. They're talking still.
I didn't know if the monster actually got away until he ran. When the commander comes out there in the common room, it was like, "Oh, you're still here," and he slaughters everybody in the room. Yeah,
he kills everyone to make sure he's still not there.
Yeah, that's when I realized. Yeah, that is the guy.
Yeah,
that's
He did get away.
But while he's fighting him, he's going on about like, you don't really believe this insane prophecy and this, that, and the other. Right?
Even the Doppler's like, you didn't tell us what she was. Like, you just got all this crazy theories, and so he just tries to kill him because he lied to him.
I'm not quite sure exactly what they believe about her, but I'm very interested in finding out because that is the crux of their entire cult. That's pretty much it for Ciri's stuff, though.
You do see that Ciri's tied up in the woods and not murdered by the Doppler.
Yeah.
And Dara
frees her.
And they get an argument, and Dara's like, you're the worst. You're just like your mother.
Yeah, and he leaves.
And he bells on her.
Yeah. Pieces out, which he should have never left the forest to begin with.
He should have. But hopefully he can make it back. But
yeah.
I'm sure next season we're just going to get like a 5-minute clip of him getting murdered.
Oh, yeah, probably.
It's like, oh, no, not Dara. And then we get to the good part. Geralt. It starts with him, Dandelion, waiting by with a couple merchants, busting roach.
Yep.
And they're pretty much like, this guy's dead. Let's just steal his horse and take his shit.
They're going to take his shit and steal his horse. Yeah, just random old guy you assume is some sort of noble or something like that. Steps out onto the path with 2 warrior women.
Like Amazonian warrior women. Yeah.
Straight up like Amazons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I can't remember what they called them in this series.
It's Tia and Via.
Yeah, but the place they're from actually had a name.
Oh,
but it was essentially
mm-hmm.
Amazonian tribe. The guy's like, you should put that back. The guys that are stealing his horse and stuff are just like, no, he ain't coming back. You should listen to the bard and put that back.
You're going to make me? You don't have any steel.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't need steel. And just breaks his neck.
They'd had steel, but he's talking about the old guy.
Yeah.
And not the very menacing, scary-looking fighter women with weapons on them.
So she literally twists this dude's head around backwards. The other guy is just going to stand there when Geralt steps out with the monster head. And Dandelion's just like, they were trying to steal your stuff. And she killed this guy. He's like, well, maybe I should hire them. maybe they should be my traveling companions.
Yeah, they're probably much better traveling companions. The old man introduces himself as Borch 3 Jackdaws. What a name. 3 Jackdaws. But
3 Jackdaws.
Borch. So Borch and his companions Tia and Via.
Yes.
They go back to the tavern. And he's pretty much pleading his case, Borch is, to Geralt that he wants to hire him to go slay a dragon.
Which Dandelion's infatuated with these women.
Oh, yeah. He's flirting with them hard.
This is a flavor he's never had in his life.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely interested. Which you'd think these are very intimidating women. I was like, you'd think he'd be like, I'm good.
This is some dodgeball stuff. Like, why do you look at me like this?
On it. Yeah. He goes hard on it. Borch says pretty much that the king of this area is giving away land to anyone that slays this dragon,
right?
Because he's supposed to get married to the neighboring kingdom.
Yeah, you're basically
going to get... He doesn't want the dragon to fuck up the wedding.
Right. He's basically going to give out like a serfdom kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. He's basically going to give a province to the kingdom.
Yeah, you make your own land.
Make you a nobleman.
And make you a nobleman, and you get to keep whatever the dragon's hoarding.
Right.
Which we never actually see the dragon hoard.
Yeah.
Well the dragon hoard just, it's just an egg.
Yeah, but I don't think this dragon was really hoarding anything.
No, it's just protecting its baby.
Geralt's like, no, I'm out. I don't care about this.
He doesn't say dragons.
I don't kill dragons. They're rare.
They're dying breed.
They're a dying breed.
There's not many left, and they're dying off.
And it's one of those things where he doesn't consider them to be monsters. We see this a lot with Geralt.
We see it later this episode.
Yeah, we see it later in this episode too, where the thing walks out of the bush. He doesn't consider it to be a monster.
It's a starving. Yeah.
And it's just like the Sylvan, he doesn't consider it to be a monster.
Yeah, it's most I think it's just like real life. Like generically, most people are good. Most
right.
Like even these are still intelligent beings, and most of them are probably good, and they're not generically evil until
they're forced to be.
Until they're forced to be. Yeah. The same thing with Jins. He said a Jin is normally a peaceful being.
Nothing
until
happy.
They get captured by
nothing
wizard,
happy lives in captivity.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy wants Geralt to come on their quest because he's the famous monster hunter. Even if you don't take part in killing the dragon, at least you can help us with the monsters along the way. Because apparently it's supposed to be a very monster-littered path.
Which I guess they didn't have the budget for, because we literally see one dangly, starving creature.
We see one starving creature. And that's where the budget ended.
Yeah,
man, the money they poured into these dragons, I can understand how they couldn't afford it.
Geralt's like, no, not interested. Up until the point that
Yennefer
walks in back into his life with her knight, Sir Ike of Dinsley.
God, Sir Dipshit.
Oh, I love it. It's great. He's such a fucking tool bag, but
he is every bit the fantasy paladin you envision.
Oh, it's every paladin.
Yes. Truth and justice, and I will murder you for jaywalking paladin. He is that guy. He literally wakes up every morning, takes a dump, and says, for Lord and Country. Or something.
Lord and Country!
He's awful.
So, and then he's like, I'm on board. You're right. I do want to go. and Dandelion, up to this point, he was like,
no,
we should do this.
We're out.
We should do this. The chicks are hot. And then Yennefer walks in and is like, nope, we're fucking out. Good luck. And then the girl's like, we'll do it. And he's just like, fuck.
Dude, Dandelion is very afraid of her.
He should be.
Yes.
I would be too.
They basically introduce the teams, and
there's 4 teams.
Yeah, there's 4 teams. It's Yennefer and Lord Dipshit.
It's Borch and Company.
Yeah, it's Borch and Company.
And we got the dwarves.
The dwarves that are flamboyant.
Flamboyant?
Jesus. Like...
They're not flamboyant. They're great.
Like, they are way over the top.
No.
Yeah.
Nah.
Like, they have little person syndrome to hysterical points.
Yeah, that doesn't make you flamboyant.
They do it very flamboyantly.
So the dwarves, which you were introduced to, Yarpen Zergen is the leader. The only one that actually gets any speaking lines.
Dude.
The rest are just there for looks.
He's a lot.
He's great. I think his character's great. We get actually a little bit of information and background story through his character.
A little bit. They used to mine these parts and stuff like that, and that was taken away from them.
Yeah. And then the fourth party is the Reavers.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much...
generic bad guys.
Yeah.
They're the generic bad guy company.
They've just gone crazy because they've been in space for so long.
Yeah, they got to the edge, saw more black, and went all giggity.
Yep. And now they're want to kill a dragon.
Yep.
But yeah, it's pretty much generic bandits that are like, let's go make some money and become a noble.
And they are not hiding this at all.
Oh, no.
Like, you would not travel with these guys anywhere. They're going down the trail, and Dandelion is just still...
he's still trying to get it. He's real persistent.
He is persistent, yes.
And he's like, I'll go wander through this brush and find you some berries.
Yes. Refreshments or something. And he starts picking berries, and he's like, hey, Geralt, there's something in the bush.
It looks pretty cute at first. And then it stands up, and it's like, okay, it's kinda...
this little cute, horrifying,
most horrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. And Geralt's just like,
everybody
okay.
relax.
Everyone relax.
Put your weapons down.
And then Ike just plows past the doors, knocking them over, and just
I will kill this monster
for king and country,
and hacks this thing to pieces.
This poor starving monster just decapitates it and just hacks at its body. Like,
Jesus,
he's fucking saved everyone's life.
Yes,
just straight pouted. Just like, you're all lucky fucking you're alive still. I saved all of you. I'm a hero.
I am the hero here.
Bard, go ahead and write some fucking fables about this.
But yeah, just completely eviscerates this monster and hacks it to pieces, knocks its limbs off. And then later when they're around the campfire, he literally has this monster's head on a pole.
And it's just like oozing black blood.
Yeah.
And he's trying to cook it, and he eats it. And it's like, you shouldn't fucking eat this. It's awful.
A knight never wastes his kills. It's like, you eat people?
I guess so.
Jeez, man.
And he gets sick and starts shitting himself.
He immediately gets the shit.
Which I love when Yennefer's like, you want me to wait for you in your tent? And he's like, I would never want to deflower such a beautiful thing. And Dandelion's like,
too late for that.
Yeah, that shit's fucking been to sea, sunk.
She's basically buttering him up with the I can't wait to serve you and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. They're sitting around the campfire, and Borch is making fun of Sir Ike.
Yes.
This is great.
Yeah, he's trolling him pretty good.
We get a little bit of information from Yarpen, the dwarf.
Yep.
He actually says the land they're getting shite. This land is going to be pointless. All this land that they're getting is going to be overrun soon.
Yeah, as soon as the next ruler comes along, changes hands.
Nilfgaard is rising in the south, and that they're just taking over everything and conquering all these kingdoms. He said he's seen it firsthand.
Yeah, he said Nilfgaard's down burning up the south.
But Yennefer's there, and she kind of laughs like, Law Fringilla has the resources and power to like build up a kingdom.
Apparently she does.
One of the things he says, eventually they could take out Sintra, Mura, and everything. Like, they could conquer all of it. Joke's on her. We already know.
Yeah.
The Nilfgaard does conquer Sintra. They're actually just going through and conquering all these kingdoms, and the dwarf's like, I've seen it. The rest of the people are just like, that's a joke. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah, they still believe Nilfgaard's just a shithole country. We wake up the next morning, and
Ike's dead.
Knight Dipshit is with his throat cut while he's taking his shit.
Yeah. There's no way to die.
Which Yennefer is instantly just like, fuck.
Damn it, I need another one.
That's the first time she has a Geralt moment where she just grunts and fuck.
while they're at the campfire, this is where Borch mentions maybe if Nilfgaard had a better, stronger mage there, that he would have been able to home in their rise to power. He obviously knows that Yennefer was supposed to be assigned there.
Yeah.
He's a wise old man and knows a lot more than he's leading on.
Yeah, he does know a lot. I'll give him that. After the camping scene, they find the knight dead the next morning, and the Ravagers are on up the road. They're kind of following along behind them, and the dwarves are like, hey, we know a secret way around all this that'll cut half a day off our travel.
We'll get ahead of the Reavers.
We'll get ahead of the Reavers.
Not be with these guys that are trying to murder us.
Right. Geralt goes on up the road and talks to Yennefer.
The fact that she still wants to go, he finds out that
he figures it out. Yeah.
She wants the heart because there's a myth that it has the ability to restore fertility.
Right. And Geralt basically tells her, no, it's impossible. It's a myth.
You hear them, when they're arguing, talk about she just can't get away from him.
Right.
In the past few months, they just keep running into each other and getting together every time.
Right. One always ends up leaving the other.
This door shortcut turns into a small wooden beam ledge across a mountainside.
Fuck this shortcut.
Oh, it's awful.
Dude.
But the door's like, man, it's fine.
It's a series of steel spikes hammered into the side of a sheer drop that goes down, looks like thousands of feet.
Planks.
With 2x4s laid over it.
Yeah.
Old rotten 2x4s.
And some chains to hold on to.
Yeah, and there's a chain tacked into the side of the here and there.
Super safe.
Follow the guide chain. And the dwarves just, they're out there through it. They don't care.
Because to them, that's like a walkway.
Yeah.
But for a normal sized person,
it's barely a ledge.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. Gun to my head, I could not walk across that. Yeah, they're shimmying across this walkway.
And of course
someone's
going to fall. Yeah, Borch falls.
Borch and his Amazonian warriors fall, but they're holding on to the chain. And Geralt grabs the chain and is bracing it against failing walkway. Borch looks at him and is like, you got to let us go. And he's refusing to, so Borch just lets go on his own. After he falls, the warriors let go when they fall as well. One thing I forgot is while they're walking and Dandelion is hitting on him so hard, he's just like, why are you infatuated with him? And the warrior looks at Dandelion and is like, because he's the most beautiful.
Yeah.
He's just an old man.
He's just well-renowned person, and it's an honor for them to be traveling with him. What they don't lead on is that he's a dragon. Yeah. He just turns into a dragon and catches them and then flies off.
Right.
So we think he's dead, but the next day we find out that they're not.
Yeah.
They make it across, and then Geralt and
they camp with the dwarves. That's where Dandelion actually comes up to him after Borch dies, and it's just like, let's just go, dude. Let's just go.
Yeah.
We don't have to do this. You didn't want to do it anyways. We can go down to the coast. We can get some work. Plenty of beautiful women. We just go. We don't have to do this.
There's no one for Dandelion to fuck. He doesn't want to be there anymore.
He's real serious about this.
Yeah.
Like, he's serious in a not joking way that he's never been before. Right? Because even when Yennefer first walked in, he was still like, nope, out. Nope, we're not doing this. But he was jokingly about it. Now, after seeing somebody die, after seeing several people die, his heart is out of it completely. For me, this is where his character completely turned. Yeah, he's a little bit of himself later on in this episode. Whenever they have words, he is this guy again. Where the last episode cemented their friendship, Geralt going out of his way to save his life. I think this one broke it in a bad way.
It's not like he's the first time he's ever seen anyone die.
Right. It's not. For him, it was different this time. For him to not want the rest of the story, this one was different.
I just figured he didn't want to die to a dragon.
Well, that too. But
so Geralt and Yennefer bang. She gets a Geralting.
She gets Geralted.
This is where they talk about how they've been getting together for the past few months over and over, and every time like one of them wakes up and leaves, the other one's gone, and they finally, it makes it look like, oh, they're actually going to get together.
I loved her tent being an extra dimensional space.
Oh yeah, it's a lot larger. Yeah, it's nice.
As soon as I saw that, I just thought that's like a level 2 spell.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
They wake up.
Yeah.
And the doors already took off.
Yeah, they're already way on.
Jennifer's upset, so she takes off, and then Grout chases after her, just leaving Dandelion in the camp asleep.
Yep. And they catch up with the dwarves, and she freezes them.
Yeah, she just time stops them.
It's awful. It's awful.
Runs up into the cave, and you see Borch is there with the chicks, Tia and Via.
Well, they walk into the cave. They see the dragon dead
and
the egg right there. Then, Borch, Tia, and Via walk in behind them.
Pretty much tells them, like, we heard the dragon's call. She is wounded and dying, and we came in seeking your help because we knew that you wouldn't kill a dragon, but you would help protect us.
Yeah.
Like, we can't move this egg until it hatches. We just wanted more help to defend ourselves.
And then generic bad guys show up.
The Reavers show up, yeah.
Yeah. And they have their little showdown.
This is a good action sequence.
It was pretty good.
I mean, you gotta love the scene where Yennefer and Geralt embrace each other and kiss, and he's force pushing a bunch of them out of the cave.
See, I thought Tony Stark Omega beamed in the Captain America shield right there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she pushed magic through him to make his repulsor beam stronger.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah, it definitely looked stronger than normal. Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, they do this fight scene, but my only complaint with this fight scene, I don't think there was this many Reavers when we started this mission.
There was a handful. No, there was like 12.
There was?
12. Yeah. Whenever they line up.
But they start crawling out of everywhere.
But whenever they line up leaving town, there's actually about a dozen.
Okay.
So, I mean, they only kill about a dozen. They obviously couldn't afford to really put the dragon in the scene. All he does is burn one guy that gets close and just
literally
he just stays out of it.
He says, "No, I will guard the egg," and he's just we can't afford the animation. So he basically just stands there, and when one dude that's already halfway dead starts crawling towards the egg,
nope, don't think so. Not in my house.
When this dragon talks, it's so awkward because they're doing it telepathy talk.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to see the dragon, his lips move and talk.
I don't have an issue with it because I'm used to this. In Irrigan, that's how it works. That's just how dragons talk. In that world, I like that. Aesthetically, even in D&D.
Dragons physically talk in D&D, though.
Do they?
They can.
They can.
Most of the time. I think you got to be quite an old dragon before you start doing telepathy. Smaug moved his lips when he talked. Smaug looked good.
Schmaug. I don't know. He was only in it for like 5 minutes, whatever.
Yeah. They needed a little bit more of an animation budget. It's forgivable. If this episode was poorly written, this would have been unforgivable. But because this episode was well written, well acted, well directed, we can forgive animation.
Mm-hmm. They kill all the Reavers.
Yeah, they kill all the Reavers.
The dwarves run up and like, fuck! We missed the whole fucking thing! We didn't get to have any fun.
They throw down their weapons because they don't want to die like everybody else did. Borch comes out, hands him dragon teeth.
So don't ask questions. Here's some dragon teeth.
Yeah.
Just get out of here.
If this isn't enough for the king, then I will drop a body on
his wedding.
His wedding soon enough. But yeah, that's basically it. Yennefer and Geralt have their conversation. Borch is just like, I'm going to save both of y'all a lot of heartache. And basically says, Yennefer, what you want's not possible.
You're never going to get back. You're never going to have a baby.
And he looks at Geralt and says, what you want's not possible either. She's never going to stay with you.
He says, I can see why you wanted to keep this girl. She realizes that Geralt made a wish, and that's what she believes is pulling them together. It's just magic, and it's all fake. And her feelings,
Her feelings are, you took my agency away from me, which is her thing throughout all of this.
Yeah.
Because that's how her story begins.
Mm-hmm.
Her agency was taken from her. She was taken to the Mages College. She tried to kill herself and was stopped, and even that was taken away from her. That's really a big thing for her. She is super, super pissed at him for the implication that he wished this.
Which I don't think he does. I believe the way he worded the wish is something like, I wish to save her. Maybe not intentionally binding them together. Maybe that's the intention, that the way the Jinn made the wish happen, bind them together.
Yeah.
But either way, I think they truly love each other.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get to see more later.
I hope so too.
Girl's all pissed off, and Dandelion walks up and he yells at Dandelion.
He really crushes Dandelion.
Yeah.
Like, he crushes him bad.
He's like, he blames him for
like every time
bad.
every time my life is a sack of shit, you're the one toting it.
Mm-hmm.
Why? And just goes off on him.
Yeah, it's pretty mean. He regrets it. You can tell he regrets it. But Dandelion's just like, well, I'll just go ask other people for the rest of the story since he fucking missed it.
I think this is where they pretty much part ways. Yeah, he really soul crushes him, especially after Dandelion literally just had a heart-to-heart with him the night before. Dandelion really feels like that's his friend. And I don't know if Geralt feels that way.
Geralt does. He's just not used to attachments. He's been alone for a long time. And now it's like so many people coming into his life.
Haven't we all?
Yeah. Borch's true name.
Yes.
His dragon name.
Flurkin.
Well, no, that was the monster they killed. That was the monster they killed. So, Borch's name is Valentrettenmirth. I'm sorry. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Valentrettenmirth.
The dragon.
The dragon. I love this episode. It's great. There's a lot of joking and making fun of the stupid knight, and with some good action sequences. And
I really like this episode.
I really love you see the love just between Geralt and Yennefer just blooming.
Yeah.
And you get Dandelion at his best. But yeah, of course it does, right?
And I think that's really what makes it so good. But yeah, I love this episode. I did.
You say you wanted more songs. Yeah, Dandelion might not be singing songs during the show, but at the end of these last 2 episodes, they actually have Dandelion, like a couple of ballads by him. And they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I like the ballads at the end.
It's a really solid episode. Oh, no, a strong episode.
Yeah, it's great.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us as we break down another great episode of The Witcher. If you like what we do, make sure that you hit the thumbs up button down below and subscribe, and tell us what you think in the comments section below. As always, I'm your host, Danny, joined by my co-host, Derek.
Bye.
See you later, guys. Bye.